Hello, everybody. It's Stella from The Beauty of Play. At the time of this recording, we just finished our geography block, and I wanted to share some of the resources and books that we used for this block. Sharing with you some of the books that I am using for this geography unit. The unit that we are doing, the block that we are doing, very similar, but upscaled for a higher age group than the one that you'll find in my shop, the guide in my shop for this block. So some of the resources that I'm using, these are source books. I'm pulling activities from these. This is Geography Through Art, and I will show you the table of contents here. This I am not using exclusively, but it has art projects for the world and for every part of the continents. Several pages of table of contents here. I will try to do a blog post at some point, but so be sure to see my site, in which case you will be able to see pictures of the table of contents that are a little more clear. So this has all kinds of different art projects that we will be pulling here and there from. They also have a lot of quick sketch that I'm anxious to do to improve our drawing skills. So we will see about how much I use from this. This is not the main source that I'm using. I'm also using the geography book. We did many of these when we did this block in elementary school. We are, of course, upscaling any that we are doing now. You can see the table of contents for this here. And here. And this just goes over, again, a list of projects having to do with mapping, some of which we are doing. Like, another source that I'm using is the Map Lab, which is a series of art books. So we will be pulling from there. Some of these are duplicated, like there is a compass rose in that one and a compass rose here. The compass rose in the Math Lab is a little more detailed. However, we're even upscaling that more for this age level, and we're using our geometry to have precision. So we're doing division of 8 for the circle and concentric circles to come up with our design for our compass rose. Many of the activities are in the guide or pulled from this or adapted from this. And then all the things that you need to do these activities are included in the guide's appendix. So that's the geography book. I'm also using, again, the Map Lab, pulling activities from that one. Also pulling picture studies, because the Math Lab book also has several artists that they feature that we're using for picture study for Charlotte Mason style for this block. So those are these. This book is used as the spine for my block. We are using this book as a read aloud, not so much as a spine this time. But we are also doing a picture study of the maps and then reading about those maps and having a discussion on where it comes up in her other reading. This goes through about 10, 11 maps from the world through time. It's really interesting. This is really nice because it adds in history in addition to cartography and those concepts. Along with that, this is a book, The Road to There by Val Ross, that is just perfect for middle school age. Here's the table of contents again. A lot of this we have gone over before, but this is deeper, more engaging for this level material. We've gone over it in our history blocks and in our explorers blocks. So it also goes through various maps and map makers in quite a bit of history. It's very much a living book, Charlotte Mason style living book. It is engaging in the way that it's written, keeps your interest. There's that Babylonian map again. And so this is a really nice addition. And this is assigned reading. So she's going through and reading a chapter at a time as we go along for part of the block, and then we're going over the material either. It's really interesting read, engaging read. In fact, my teen, if this tells you anything, said that the reading was actually interesting. So there's that. This is a child's introduction to the world. It is also used in the block that I have available in my shop, the guide. Mostly the front of the book is used in that block. We are not reading the front of the book so much as going over the back end of the book. It has information on the different regions in the continents. And so we are using some of that information. This is also assigned reading, and I would say the reading level is less than the upper middle school level that she is in, but it does have valuable information, so we're going ahead and using this book. We're also using Prisoners of Geography by Tim Marshall. This is a picture book, I'd say upper elementary, middle school level, from his novel. He has an adult novel called Prisoners of Geography, and it explains the impact that geography has on different regions of the world. So this one goes through various regions of the world, and it talks about the geography, a little about the history in some places, and how history and the culture was affected by the geography of the region. Wonderful illustrations in this one. And then we are using this book as a source or a resource book. So we're just mainly going through, studying the maps, looking through the different regions for each continent, reading parts of it. We're mostly just studying and looking at this together. This is not assigned reading or learning. So a couple of games that we're using to go along with this block are Flags of the World, and this of course has Flags of the World, which change constantly because of conflicts and so forth. It comes with a map that's numbered and has all the different countries. This has 195. I don't know when this was published. I've had this for a while. On the back side is just a list of flags. And I have these cards divided up into regions, mostly continents, so that we can look at it. But you can, it has a list of various games that you can play with these. We, of course, in the beginning start by just sorting through and looking at them, reading the information, seeing what their capital is to familiarize ourselves with it. And then eventually we will play games with this. We are also using Professor Noggins, which I don't see with me right now, Professor Noggins World game. It's a trivia game, so we just look over them and eventually ask each other questions about having to do it. And we're also using, let's see, doing on a regular basis almost every day our little geography game. This map is from Wild Feather. She has one of all the different continents, and we are taking a look at this, studying it for a few minutes, and then taking a blank North American map and labeling it to the best of our ability from our memory. This is a great memory recall exercise, and I have seen it work really, really well with my children to just have familiarity. Do I want every single continent memorized? No, but knowledge builds on knowledge. So if they have a really good idea of where a country or region is in the globe, if we have an idea of that region's ecosystem or geography at all, then that helps us to better understand stories or material that we come across later. And so this is a really good exercise. You count the number of things you are able to label and mark that down here, and then you will see a progression as you do this on a regular basis. You can do this once a week. You can do this once every month. I mean, you get to decide. I would say initially when you're trying to learn the countries of a different continent, then or states or province of a different area, then do it pretty closely spaced out, like every day, every couple days, every 3 days, and then you can space it out further and interleave, mix in other maps and stuff. But this is a great exercise that we are doing on a regular basis with our geography. Thank you so much for watching. On my site, thebeautyofplay.com, there's a blog post dedicated to the activities and resources that we did. You can find there. I'll leave the link below. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe. And you will also find a series of links in the description of where you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.